Hello, it's me, and I'm doing a quiz again on my page because I quite enjoy quizzes, to be actually quite honest, and because Denise was kind enough to say that she liked the quizzes when I mentioned I might do one again, so I thought, well, why not? Now, I was all set to do one about Halloween, but then I thought, hey, there's a week to go yet, so I had to kind of save all those questions and write another one. And I thought, well, I'll write one about autumn. And I'm sitting here in our sunroom. It's not very sunny at the moment. And you can see I've got some of my retirement cards behind me, and I've got a candle going, a scented candle, which is quite fittingly blackberry, because I went on a long walk this morning. I went up and across the downs to nearly to a place called Brockhampton, and it was very misty and moisty and wet and lovely, and there were still some blackberries on the bushes, just a few, so, and rabbits and all the normal stuff, which is really lovely, which I really enjoy. Anyway, here is the quiz. Autumn. Okay, right, start off with general knowledge. Okay. And by the way, I mean, just score yourself what you want. This is really just an excuse to kind of chatter away, isn't it? Okay, autumn, general knowledge. What star sign falls between the 23rd of October and the 22nd of November? So what star sign is that? It falls between the 23rd of October and the 22nd of November. Okay. Question 2 in the general knowledge. On what date does the autumn equinox fall? On what date does the autumn equinox fall? An equinox is a day when the hours of daylight and night are roughly the same. Okay. Question 3. Who did Peter Phillips marry in 2008? Who did Peter Phillips marry in 2008? Okay. Question 4. This bright red berry gets its name from an old German word meaning to redden, to get redder. I didn't see many of them today. Round here it's lots of oaks and damsons and sycamores, things like that. But you go places like in Scotland, there's lots of these. Bright red berries gets its name from an old German word meaning to redden. Okay, and question 5 in the last of the general knowledge. What type of trees lose their leaves in autumn? So what type of trees lose their leaves in autumn? Okay, right, now then we go on to history. History. One of my favourite subjects, as you know, to your cost. Right, history. Question 1. What coup d'etat took place on November the 6th and 7th, 1917? So, what coup d'etat took place on November the 6th and 7th, 1917? Okay. Question 2. Which Prime Minister was nearly assassinated on the 12th of October 1984? So which Prime Minister was nearly assassinated on the 12th of October 1984? Okay. Question 3. What did Barbara Castle, who was the Minister for Transport, introduce on the 9th of October 1967? So Barbara Castle, those of us who are certainly of a more mature type will remember her. She was the Minister for Transport and she introduced something on the 9th of October 1967. What was it? And question 4, and it's the last minute in this section, which Prime Minister was assassinated on the 31st of October 1984? Which Prime Minister was assassinated on the 31st of October 1984? And then question 5. What attempted coup d'etat failed on November the 5th, 1605? So what attempted coup d'etat failed on November the 5th, 1605? Okay, right, now on to my favourite round, the music. Okay, and as always, 1 mark for artist, 1 mark for song. Okay, let's start with number 1. I'll turn it up a bit. Okay, that was number 1. Now number 2. Okay, number 2 that was. Number 3. Okay, number 4. I feel like a bingo caller today. Right, and then number 5. Right, and then, because I thought in the middle of the night of another one that I could add, you've got 6 questions on the music quiz today, so here we go. Okay, and that is the music for now, till we get to the answers. It's behaving itself very well. Okay, right, so I've done history, I've done general knowledge. Now we do film and literature. Okay, question 1. Who wrote Season of Mists and Mellow Fruitfulness? Who wrote Seasons of Mist and Mellow Fruitfulness? Okay. Question 2. Who wrote 13 Days about the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962? Who wrote 13 Days, and it was about the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962? Question 3. In which book does J.K. Rowling write, "Autumn seemed to arrive suddenly that year. The morning of the 1st September was crisp and golden as an apple"? Okay, so in which book does J.K. Rowling write, "Autumn seemed to arrive suddenly that year. The morning of the 1st of September was crisp and golden as an apple"? Okay. Question 4. Who wrote the novel Blackberry Wine, which was published in 2000? Who wrote the novel Blackberry Wine, which was published in 2000? And question 5. Which 3 Woody Allen films were set in an autumnal New York? And there are 3 of them, so you get a point for each one. If you get all 3, you get 3 points. That's good, isn't it? Right, and now we go on to the TV. Autumn TV. It's something you always look forward to, isn't it? You know, when August is drawing to a close and it's getting a little bit tired, you know, and you think, oh yes, autumn TV. And I said, when I was younger, it was like, oh, everyone will be back and we'll all be able to go out again. Anyway, autumn TV. Which 2 Saturday night programmes heralded the start of autumn for over a decade? Which 2 Saturday night TV programmes heralded the start of autumn for over a decade? Okay. Question 2. Pudsey the bear is the mascot for which November fundraising TV appeal? So that's Pudsey the bear, and he's the mascot for which fundraising appeal which takes place in November. Okay. Question 3. Who has joined Noel Fielding as a host of the Great British Bake Off this autumn? Who has joined Noel Fielding as a host of the Great British Bake Off this autumn? And then question 4. Which Netflix series about the British royal family returns in November? Which Netflix series about the British royal family returns in November? And question 5, and the last question of the quiz. Which BBC wildlife programme returns on Tuesday the 27th of October? So next week. Isn't that good? Okay then, right, so that's the end of the quiz. So I'll go through the answers now, okay? So if you're ready, just get yourself together. Right, and if you've just started watching, you might want to wait and watch again from the beginning. I don't know, it's up to you. I mean, really, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Okay, question 1. What star sign falls between the 23rd of October and the 22nd of November? Well, that is Scorpio. Scorpio. So that falls between the 23rd of October and the 22nd of November. And I should know that because my son's... No, actually. This is awful. I was going to say I should know that because my son's a Scorpio. He's not. I hope he doesn't watch this. Okay, right. Question 2. On what date does the autumn equinox fall? Well, the autumn equinox, where the hours of daylight and night are about the same, is the 22nd of September. The 22nd of September. Question 3. Who did Peter Phillips marry in 2008? Well, of course, it was Autumn Kelly. Autumn Kelly. I thought that was quite a clever question, that one. Okay. Question 4. This bright red berry gets its name from an old German word meaning to redden. It is rowan, the rowan berry. So that gets its name from an old German word meaning to redden. And the tree is otherwise known as the mountain ash. And I remember once, a long time ago, trying to make wine from rowan berries. It was absolutely disgusting. It was absolutely, you couldn't use it in cooking. You could have maybe used it to strip something, you know, you might have kind of put some bit of cutlery that had got a bit rusty in and leave it overnight to kind of brighten it up, but it was not fit for human or animal consumption. It was disgusting. Anyway, rowan berries, very beautiful, but not very tasty. What type of trees lose their leaves in the autumn? These, of course, are deciduous trees, as distinct from evergreens who keep their leaves throughout the autumn and winter. Right, history. Jolly round this one this time. Okay. Question 1. What coup d'etat took place on November the 6th and 7th, 1917? Okay, now this was the Russian Revolution, where Vladimir Lenin overthrew the Duma government. Now, it was called the October Revolution, and so you're thinking, well, why did it take place in November? The reason for that was that in Russia, they still observed, and they still observe, the Julian calendar. So, as far as the Russians were concerned, it took place on October the 24th and 25th. And so it was called the October Revolution. However, in Western Europe, we use, and we were using at the time, the Gregorian calendar. And as far as the Gregorian calendar is concerned, it took place on November the 6th and 7th in 1917. So it was the Russian Revolution, otherwise sometimes known as the October Revolution. Okay. Question 2. Which Prime Minister was nearly assassinated on the 12th of October 1984? Well, that was Mrs. Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher. I remember it. It was my birthday and it came up on the news that morning, news flash and all of that. It was the Tory party conference in Brighton. A lot of the bigwigs were staying in the Grand Hotel, Brighton. And it was at 2:54 in the morning. Mrs. Thatcher, she was such a, she was one of these people that was meant to be able to manage on no sleep. I don't know how she did it. Maybe that explains some things. Anyway, she was working on a conference speech in the suite. And if she had gone to the loo, she might well have been killed because her bathroom was very badly damaged in the blast. And so if she'd kind of thought, oh, I'll just go and have a quick wee, you never know, she could have been assassinated. All the what ifs there, okay? But the answer was Margaret Thatcher. Question 3. What did Barbara Castle, who was the Minister for Transport, introduce on the 9th of October 1967? Well, that was the breathalyzer. It was the test that you blow into which measures the level of alcohol in your blood. And it was obviously linked to measures against people drinking and driving. I mean, it's just part of life now, but it was quite a big thing at the time when it was introduced. Right, question 4. Which Prime Minister was assassinated on the 31st of October 1984? 1984, what a year for assassinations or attempted assassinations. It was Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi. She was killed outside her residence by some of the guards that were guarding her. Yes, so in that month there were 2 assassination attempts, one of which was successful on Indira Gandhi. Right, question 5. What attempted coup d'etat failed on November the 5th, 1605? Well, of course, that was the gunpowder plot. And November the 5th was when poor old Guido Fawkes got caught underneath the Houses of Parliament with barrels of gunpowder. And we all know what happened to him. Okay, so that is our jolly history round. Now I'm going to go to my music. And excuse me, I'm going to have to get my laptop fired again because it's gone off. Right, I'll just type in my password. Should take me straight to Spotify. Yes, great. Okay then. So, number 1. Number 1 is October Road by James Taylor. October Road by James Taylor. Okay, so number 2 now.
I see your lips, the summer kisses,
and this one is Autumn Leaves, Nat King Cole. Autumn Leaves, Nat King Cole. That's like dripping honey, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, question 3. And that is September by Earth, Wind and Fire. September by Earth, Wind and Fire. Okay, now question 4. And this one is Forever Autumn. And now this, I've got it actually down as Jeff Wayne, but I think it was Justin, what's his name? This is obviously a cover, which I've copied by mistake. However, if you know the answer, because you won't know Jeff Wayne, I wouldn't have thought. Anyway, if you know the answer, give yourself a point for that. Forever Autumn. And then question 5. I had a real kind of spell of really liking this singer.
Autumn leaves.
It is Paolo Nutini, and it's Autumn. Not Autumn Leaves, just Autumn it's called. Okay? And then the final one, which is your extra one for today, question 6. Oh, come on.
Try to remember.
Exactly. That's Try to Remember The Kind of September by Harry Belafonte. So that was our nice autumn music. Now then, where am I? I've done general knowledge and history of music. Okay, film and literature now. Okay, now then, who wrote Season of Mists and Mellow Fruitfulness? That, of course, was John Keats. It was the first line of the poem. So John Keats, one of the most famous autumn poems ever, I would imagine. Question 2. Who wrote 13 Days about the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962? Now that was Robert F. Kennedy, who wrote 13 Days. It was an account of the Kennedy administration dealing with the Cuban Missile Crisis, and it was obviously a time. I mean, I was only 9 at the time, but it was a time when actually I was only 8. Yeah, I was only 8, and it was the time when the world was closest to nuclear war. Fortunately avoided. So the answer to that was Robert F. Kennedy. Question 3. In which book does J.K. Rowling write, "Autumn seemed to arrive suddenly that year. The morning of the 1st of September was crisp and golden as an apple"? Well, of course, it is Harry Potter, but which one is it? It's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Deathly Hallows, not Harrows. Goodness me. Right. Question 4. Who wrote Blackberry Wine? Published in 2000, and it's a novel. That was Joanne Harris. Joanne Harris, and she's the author of the very famous novel Chocolat, which then became a film. I don't think Blackberry Wine was as successful, but it's got a nice autumnal title, so I thought, yeah, that'll do for a question. And question 5, which 3 Woody Allen films were set in an autumnal New York? And this was, of course, before we heard things about Woody Allen. You know, they were very, very popular, these films. And they were Hannah and Her Sisters in 1986, September in 1987, and Another Woman in 1988. So you can give yourself a point for each one of those. Okay? Right, now the last section of this new reinvigorated quiz. Okay? It's on TV. Which 2 Saturday night programmes heralded the start of autumn for over a decade? Well, of course, it was and is still Strictly Come Dancing, and was The X Factor. And it was like, you'd think, you know, when someone was coming over, you'd think, oh, well, at least Strictly's coming on, you know. And then there'd be that episode in late August, I think, when they paired up. And then you'd have to wait another few weeks until they all started dancing. But, you know, anyway, Strictly Come Dancing and The X Factor. Question 2. Pudsey the Bear is the mascot for which November fundraising TV appeal? That is Children in Need, of course. Pudsey the Bear is the bear with the little kind of patch over his eye. And as a parent, oh dear, schools doing kind of dressing up days on Children in Need Day. Well, you know, I was a teacher once and then I was a parent. I've basically had enough of Children in Need, although it's a very good cause. So, and it's quite fun to watch, as long as you don't have to make costumes. Okay, question 3. Who has joined Noel Fielding as a host of the Great British Bake Off this autumn? And the answer to that is, of course, Matt Lucas. And he was on last night with Noel and all the rest of the gang in the Great British Bake Off. Question 4. Which Netflix series about the British royal family returns in November? That is, of course, The Crown. It's on Netflix, and I really like it, actually. It's not too kind of obsequious. It's just looking at people in an extraordinary situation. And John likes it. He liked the first couple of episodes I showed him because there's lots of old cars in it. Okay, right. Question 5, last question of the quiz. Which BBC wildlife programme returns on Tuesday the 27th of October? And that is Autumn Watch. So we can watch all these lovely foxes and rabbits and all sorts of things, weasels, whatever. I saw some rabbits this morning, which was nice. Okay then, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I will be doing a Halloween quiz. And then after that, when I feel like it, really, I like doing quizzes. And I'll do quite a few, I hope. But, you know, it's been good fun. I've enjoyed doing it. And hope to see you all soon. All my love to everybody in Liverpool. I know you're having a really tough time, and people in Nottingham, because I know you're on the verge as well. I mean, I'm here in the middle of the countryside, basically, but I do want to come back to Liverpool to visit everybody as soon as I possibly can. So I look forward to seeing you all soon. And love to everybody. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Bye-bye for now.